Okay, I don't know what that means, but go for it. Thank you. That's helpful.
That's what Dominic asked you to do.
Yes.
Remember?
Of course.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Chayam Mutirayet. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respect to obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, and to Narayan Rishi, the supreme student being, and to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Shapyasadya, the author. Nastatreshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhakti Bhavati. By regular attendance in the classes of Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving devotional service unto the personality of Godhead, with praise with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, the very means of conquest, and we are on 2nd Canto, chapter 5, text 33, which I don't understand anything about. 2:5:33. Tada Samhatya Cha Anyonyam Bhagavat Shakti Chodita Sat Asatvam Upadaya Cha Ubhayam Sasriju Ye Ada Tada Samhatya Chanyonyam Bhagavat Shakti Chodita Sata Sattvam Upadaya Shobhayam Sashriyada Tada Samhatya Chanyonyam Bhagavat Shakti Chodita Sata Sattvam Upadaya Shobhayam Sashriyada Tada Samhatya Chanyonyam Bhagavat Shakti Chodita Sada Sattvam Upadaya Shobhayam Sashriyada. We are on text 33, chapter 5, Canto 2.
Tada Samhatya Chanyonyam Bhagavat Shakti Chodita Sara Sattvam Upadaya Shobhayam Sasriyada
Tada Samhatya Chanyonyam Bhagavat Shakti Chodita Sada Sattvam Upadaya
Shobhayam Sasriyada.
Tada samhacha chanyoyam.
Tada samhacha chanyoyam.
Bhagavad Shakti Chodita.
Bhagavad Shakti Chodita.
Sarasakam Padaya.
Sarasakam Upadaya.
Chohayam Shakti Jurgyada.
Chobhayam Sasvijuyada. Tada samhacha chanyoyam.
Bhagavad Shakti Chodita.
Bhagavad Shakti Chodita.
Sada Sattvam Upadaya.
Sarasakam Upadaya.
Chobhayam Sasvijurhyada.
Chobhayam Sasvijuyada. Tada samhacha chanyoyam. Bhagavad Shakti Chodita. Sarasakam Upadaya. Chobhayam Sasvijuyada.
Many would you like to chant? She's cooking, okay. Tada,
Tada.
all those, samhatya, being
assembled,
cham, also, anyonyam, one another,
Bhagavad,
by the personality of Godhead,
by the personality of Godhead,
Shakti, energy, Upadaya,
Chodita.
Chodita, being applied, Sat Asattvam, primarily and secondarily, Upadaya, accepting, Cha, also, Ubhayam, both, Sasrichu, came into existence, He, certainly, Ada, this universe. Translation. Thus, when all these became assembled by force of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this universe certainly came into being by accepting both the primary and secondary causes of creation. Report by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In this verse, it is clearly mentioned that the Supreme Personality of Godhead exerts these different energies in the creation. It is not that He Himself is transformed into material creations. He expands Himself by His different energies, as well as by His plenary portions. In the corner of the spiritual sky of Brahma Jyoti, a spiritual cloud sometimes appears, and the covered portion is called the Mahatattva. The Lord then, by His plenary portion as Mahavishnu, lies down within the water of the Mahatattva, and the water is called the causal ocean, Karanajala. While Mahavishnu sleeps within the causal ocean, innumerable universes are generated along with his breathing. These universes are floating, and they are scattered all over the causal ocean. They stay only during the breathing period of Mahavishnu. In each and every universal globe, the same Mahavishnu enters again as the Garbhodakasha Vishnu and lies there under serpent-like Shesha incarnation. From his navel sprouts a lotus stem, and on the lotus, Brahma, the Lord of the universe, is born. Brahma creates all forms of living beings of different shapes in terms of different desires within the universe. He also creates the sun, moon, and other demigods. Therefore, the chief engineer of the material creation is the Lord Himself, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9:10. It is He only who directs the material nature to produce all sorts of moving and non-moving creations. There are two modes of material creation: the creation of the collective universes, as stated above, done by the Mahavishnu, and the creation of the single universe. Both are done by the Lord, and thus the universal shape, as we can see, takes place. Omagyanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksurunilitamyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Satvitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamahayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamaha Shri Guru Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sadhana Raghunatham Pitam Tam Sajivam Sadvedam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Laruta Shri Vishadham Pitamscha Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabando Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namoshtute Tapta Kanchana Goranke Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Deve Pranamami Hari Priya Anchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama
Hare Hare.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutaya Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prashanti I really like to chant this invocations mantra. They are so nice. If you never read the translation, I encourage you to do so. It's like naming so many, so wonderful personalities and offering obeisances to all of them. And I really like offering obeisances. I didn't like it 5 years ago. I was so triggered by just thinking about it. But it feels so good. You just bow down to Shri Prabhupada's lotus feet. It was so good. Chattering. I'm like small. I'm like really tall. I struggle with that. And then in that place, I feel like so small and sheltered. Not visible. So that's really nice. And yeah, we are reading how Brahma is talking to his son Narada about creation, and Brahma is explaining, no, it's not me who is creating all of this. I'm just like in the role of the engineer here, and all the intelligence, all the materials I need is provided by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is not even within the same universe, and so above me. And so yes, so there is primary and secondary causes of creation. I wonder who is who. It depends, I guess, how we look at it. On one sense, I think I'm inclined more that the primary cause of creation are the fallen jivas, like us. Because if it wasn't for us, Krishna wouldn't create the material world. So in that sense, we are the primary cause and Krishna is the secondary cause. At the same time, like without Krishna, we wouldn't really do anything, really. So in that sense, Krishna is primary cause and we are secondary cause. But I'm not sure who is who for really. And then, yeah, so Krishna doesn't do it personally. That's what Srila Prabhupada explains in the report. That Krishna doesn't do it personally. It's not like that. Like he bothers about the. It's like if there is a king and there is a prison. Why would like the king is like enjoying and he has like so much greater things to do than like being personally in charge of the prison. Like why would he do that? So Krishna in the same way, like he's having his pastimes and he's enjoying and he's exchanging with his devotees. And like why would he like personally like take care for the prison house? So he has his agents to do that. So he expand through his energy, like the king has the other people who take care of the prison house. So Krishna uses his energy to create this material world, and actually he just gives the ingredients, and then he leaves up to Brahma to like do something with it. So it's like a far out philosophy how Krishna does it. I was just thinking recently about like Krishna's sleep, because like there is nothing in the material world that is not in the spiritual world, and I was thinking like, of course Krishna is not sleeping. Why would he like sleep? But then, like when we get to, so Mahavishnu sleeps on the casual ocean. So I don't know how long he sleeps, but for sure for like 311 trillion years or maybe longer.
Yeah.
So that's quite a good sleep. Yes, yesterday I was reading in Srimad Bhagavatam that like the conditioned spirit souls that we really enjoy sleeping because we forget about the miseries of the material world. Of course, if we have a bad dream, that doesn't really help. But generally, like sleeping is such a great escape. And I know it for myself. Like sometimes I think if I just like could sleep and like wait till the spirit of my life is over or something. Or my grandparents, they don't sleep so well anymore because they are old and old people don't sleep so well. And yeah, like Malini don't sleep so well either. Anyway, so old people don't sleep so well. Which is a mercy of Krishna because it's like time to increase for like spiritual activities. So it's a mercy like, oh, like I don't have to sleep anymore 9 or 10 hours to be satisfied. I can just sleep 4 and I'm satisfied. But if the people don't practice spiritual life whatsoever, then it's a curse because the old age is such a suffering. And then the escape from it is like decreased to just 4 hours. So anyway, so we sleep and then Krishna also sleeps 311 trillion years. I'm sure I will share this with my father because it will attract him. Like Krishna consciousness, like wow, I can sleep like so much longer. That's good. I mean, he will not become God, but at least it's attractive. And for him,
And free massage sometimes.
yeah, and a massage of like unlimited amounts of goddess of fortunes, parts of the body at the same time. So he like really knows how to enjoy. But like, and then he comes as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu to the individual universes, and then he again is like floating. He's floating on his float made from the snakes. Like how nice it is to go to the ocean and have the float and just lay down. So he does it for 311,000 trillions, 311 trillions, like 311 trillions of years he just floats. So that's like, so like even if like Krishna has to create something that like unpleasurable as the material world, at least he still does it in the way that he gets to enjoy. So he's not doing it personally, he's using his agent, and he really is doing it for us that we can so-called enjoy separately from him. It's really fascinating, this idea that we can enjoy separately from him. Like yesterday when we were reading from Brahma Samhita about like Krishna, I was thinking, I'm such a fool. And I don't think I'm fool because like, I don't know, like, who knows how long ago, it's probably very, very long ago. Like Prabhupada sometimes even say like, it feels like eternity, like from the time immemorial. So there at that point, I made this choice to like enjoy separately from Krishna. And I can imagine I would do that, like at least out of curiosity or envy, or like be like, well, I will show you that I can come back easily, you know, or whatever. I can. So like it would make sense to make like the foolish decision once. But like doing it over and over again, even yesterday when I was hearing it, I was thinking, I'm such a fool. But like it doesn't even move me to make a different choice. It's amazing. It's astonishing to like over and over like making this choice like, oh, I'm going to enjoy separately from Krishna, and it doesn't work. And I was born 33 years ago. That's interesting because we are reading verse 33. And so that's amazingly embarrassing. Srila Prabhupada says to take birth like in any material form really is so embarrassing for the soul. And I was thinking that yesterday, like it's so embarrassing. Like it's so embarrassing to do this like foolish choice again and again. And to it shows like that it shows like no intelligence. Like just like this body is proof like no intelligence, no consciousness, no love, like no qualities whatsoever. Like like selfless, loving devotion, and it's just like all missing. It's a proof, his body is proof, and so it's so embarrassing to just like, it's like a feedback. It's like a feedback on where I am at. So it's very embarrassing. Yes, and at the same time, it's really exciting because like to like be born in this Kali Yuga, in the golden age of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in a human body, it's really exciting. It's like the best opportunity that the spirit soul in the material world can get. Like in my understanding, there is no better opportunity in the material world than this. So like how fortunate we are. And then there is not like so many spirit souls that have this wonderful opportunity. Sometimes I'm thinking like I have birthday today, so I'm special. But really my Facebook tells me every day that 4 people have birthday because I have like, I don't know, 1,200 friends. So it goes to like every day 4 people have birthday. So really I made a count. So 20 millions of people have birthday today, probably, statistically speaking. So it's not that special. Anyway, so but what's special is the opportunity that we have in this being born in the movement of Lord Chaitanya and like Shah Prabhupada, and then like what we are doing with the opportunity. That's the question we can look at, and it's actually. We are on chapter 5 too, so I actually have another birthday, because 5 years ago, it was 2nd day of my first advanced seminar. And I remember it till now, like on that day, I felt like a big part of me died, and I also felt I was born again. And from that day on, I felt so clear and complete. Like in some ways, I didn't need the rest of the advanced seminar then. It was nice to have the rest of the advanced seminar. But anyway, like on the day 2 in the evening, I came to such completion, and my mind was peaceful for the first time in my life, and maybe last time in my life, for next maybe even like 10 days. So it was silent there, so nice. Anyway, so 5 years ago, I really felt like being born again, and just like such an amazing long story. How did I get to that point, which I will skip today? But like what I want to say is like there is the story of Lord Chaitanya preaching to the Mayavad philosopher for 7 days and nights. He listens. Lord Chaitanya is listening to the bogus that the person has to say. And that's what really David did for me. Like for 7 days and nights, he listened to the bogus that I had to say. And then he said, and there is a spiritual root program and you can come to hear what I have to say. So after the 7 days of like me being received, I thought, okay, I could also hear like what he has to say. So only thing that convinced me about what you said was that there is a research and it's all evidence-based. So evidence-based, that was it's evidence-based, so it's good, it must be true. So that's changed a little since that time. Anyway, so I was still working at the farm with horses, and I don't remember how many horses I had to take care for, but perhaps 8, 10, I don't remember. It was a big amount of horses, and I didn't feel like riding them anymore. That was interesting. I just didn't. So what I would do that I would like jump on the horse and take them on a trail ride, and I was just like walking in the meadows and the fields and forest all day from like the morning till evening. Like I would take one horse for half an hour and then go back and take another horse. And the whole time I was chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And I don't think I felt like necessarily attracted, but I had the faith. Like you said, it's evidence-based, and I knew what you do works. So I wanted to have the experience. And when I start with something, I'm usually very intense. So I didn't want to try like, 1 round today. I was doing like morning till night program. Unfortunately, it didn't last because I don't know after how long time I realized that if I want to do this for the rest of my life, I would probably drive myself crazy. So I decreased significantly. But yes, so like it's like such a special opportunity this lifetime, and I can see Krishna hand like my whole life before, like every single event was like arranged such that I came here to ride horses in Florida. I could go anywhere in the world and I didn't really care, but I came here just like 30 miles away from the biggest devotee community in the world. And then I wanted to go to the seminar. Well, I didn't want to go to the seminar, but also I didn't have money, so that was a good excuse. And my boss saw, like it was 2 weeks between the foundation and the advance, and my boss saw the horse that I helped her choose 2 years before that. In 2013, I helped her choose a horse. And then 2 years later, she sold him. And I didn't expect anything, yet she gave me $3,000 commission because she was so excited. She made so much money on the horse. And the horse was like sold, like exactly, it was like 2 years, and exactly in these 2 weeks he was sold, and I got like $3,000 like that. I'm like, oh, so this excuse is taken care for. I wasn't very happy to see that. Anyway, so and so many like things that like were like moved in like certain ways that I could end up here. Like after I finished the university, which was really like I consider it like the most hellish time of my life, and really gliding to hell really quickly. And I wanted to stay there because I was so brainwashed, and I wanted to do PhD, and it was like prearranged. Like everybody knew that I'm going to get a position. I had sex with the professor. I was pretty good in the subject matter. It was prearranged. And then it was like a formal, like just like doing the exam, which like I was sure I will pass. And I was completely frozen. I couldn't say anything. Like I knew the responses and my muscles like were just frozen. I couldn't say it out loud. And so I couldn't stay in the university. I was crying a lot. And then I came to Florida to ride horses. Anyway, so like so many things like Krishna moved around to save me from this. And it's like so I'm taking this opportunity of my birthday to look at like what am I doing with this opportunity. Like every moment that I don't serve Krishna is such a waste. It's not even a waste, it's like a gambling. It's gambling, like where it's going to lead me the next moment. And like what if I die in the moment that I'm being nonsense or thinking nonsense? So any moment like I'm not thinking of Krishna, I'm not chanting, I'm not focusing on chanting, I am not serving Prabhupada, Krishna, it's such a waste. And it's such a great risk too. And I'm like really trying not to take this for granted because this opportunity is so rare and there is no guarantee it will repeat. And it's not even like next lifetime. Like where is the guarantee that I am going to do this 10 years from now or 20 years? There's no guarantee. It's like such a costless mercy of Srila Prabhupada who came so mercifully to like save us. And like what am I doing with it every single moment? And it's interesting because like the age 33, I don't know if it's here, but like in Czech, like we consider it like a quite significant birthday. It's called the Christ age because he was crucified when he was 33. And not that it's like so much in the culture, but it's really considered like a turn point to like focus on spiritual life because like mostly like people are already like well set in their life, like they are married, they have children, they have education, career, like it's like they are settled in, and it's like the year 33 is like really considered a turnaround point. I have twin brothers, and we agreed together that like we will never have children after 33. And so I sent him best wishes today morning and a reminder. He wasn't very happy with me because we are also trying to have children and also unsuccessfully. He must have some karma or something because they are born the same day, an hour and a minute. Anyway, so so yeah, it's the age 33 is like really supposed to be a turning around point to focus on a spiritual life. And again, from the culture, it disappeared a little bit, but not completely, because let's say my brother and I even had this vow from a long time ago. And so yes, and so it's so important to get it that like it's costless mercy, and in any time like it can be taken away, and like and it's just like to remember like to pray that the mercy stays with me, and then act in such a way that it's like more likely to receive the mercy, and be grateful, you know, like not taking all of this for granted, like, and not like a grateful like cheating, like, but like really like, wow, you listened to my nonsense for 7 days and nights. Like how special that is. Like time is so precious. Like what else can we give to each other than time? We don't even have anything else. Like the only thing that we like have is time. And even like that's like very like that. But like how do we utilize our time? So to like give somebody like this like dedicated intentional time to like for care for their transformation and Krishna consciousness, it's so precious. Like there is no greater gift that one can receive. Like there is like so much nonsense in the material world that like people buy to each other for their birthday or Christmas or whatever, but it has no value. Like there is no value in these gifts. And like, okay, it's like the exchange, like, okay, so I give time to work, and for the work I get the money, and for the money I get the thing, and then I give it to you. That is like so cheap. So the time is the only thing we can give each other, and then like if you receive it, it's like such a treasurable gift, and then like of course like must be a well utilized time. Like Srila Prabhupada says that like if we speak nonsense, that's violence. Like wasting each other's time is violence. And I have so much realization of that. Not that I'm like Vigyan, that I would never do that. I do it all the time. But like how draining it is to like speak nonsense and like waste each other's time in such a way. It's like draining, doesn't really go anywhere. So gratitude to like Srila Prabhupada, like how much time he gave to us, like at his old age. It's like the body is, you know, like it's not like so much up for adventure anymore. It's not like being 20 and going for sailing. It's like 70-year-old, 2 heart attacks. Like it would be like nice and comfortable to be like home, warm. And he's coming and he's like translating these books at 2 a.m. in the morning. Like imagine, I feel like at 4:30 when my alarm clock goes, I'm like, I cannot get up, it's like so terrible. So Prabhupada is getting every single morning at 2 a.m. to give us these books. And then what we are doing with the gift. So it's not like gratitude like a cheap thing, but like gratitude in action. So if I was given this, then I better read it. And I share with others too, which we are going to do tomorrow. I wanted to do it today to remember the opportunity why to in this birth, but the weather is better tomorrow. So whatever excuses, as always comes up excuses. Yes, so I want to, and last thing I want to share is that it's interesting. I don't know if it's like with the age 33 or like with the last drop of karma, but I really feel that like Krishna somehow helps me to come to the commitment that I will not have children after age 33. And if you told me like 8 months ago, I would be like, no way. But I feel like this attachment is like so being washed away, and I feel free. Like sometimes I think about like my baby that died. I feel like it's my ticket for freedom. I really feel that way. Like I often think that, and I feel so grateful. Like and like I can preach and I can travel and I can read Prabhupada's books and like I'm sure it's nice to like do service of raising children. At the same time, I feel like I really don't want to do that. I really don't. And sometimes we speak about the elephant galloping north and the little ant like, and I feel like maybe that was my elephant the whole time. Like maybe it really was just like this like social, cultural, like my mother, my husband, like everybody, it's like accomplishment in the society, whatever. And I'm like, maybe I just like never really wanted it, which is difficult to admit because it's so much more fun to be like in depressed, grungy, and like everyone is like tiptoeing around me. But yeah, so Krishna, I think Krishna helps me to turn my life around at the age of 33 and fully, or more fully, hopefully, to practice Krishna consciousness. And one more thing I will say, Malini told me today that I have one more year to die, like closer to death. Thank you.
Sentence.
She was like, that was your first thing in the morning. It's like 4:45 and the first thing I hear in the morning is like, you have 1 year closer to die. So actually my brother, for him, is really like a thing. Like he's anxious and he has anxiety about like having birthdays. I don't have the same thing. And where we landed, which was nice, was like, well, so Srila Prabhupada said that if we like at least chant 16 rounds and follow the regulative principles, then at the time of death, he's coming to pick us. So I have 1 year less to mess up because I have been doing it for 5 years. I have been following, and there is like in this material world, there is like every risk to slide somewhere else. So it's 1 year less risk to slide. So that's exciting. That's exciting. Yes. Yes, I hope. Well, when I first heard of the regulative principles, I was like, yes, that's exciting. I'm so happy that there is such a lifestyle and I don't have to do these things that I never liked anyway. But, I mean, except coffee. That was a difficult one. But anyway, so I hope that like maybe something that in me will still want it, but it's risky. It's a risky place here. So that's all from me. Once again. Tadha samhatya chanyomyam Bhagavat Shakti choditam Sattva sattvam upadaya Chobhayam sashruyadam. Thus, when all these became assembled by force of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this universe certainly came into being by accepting both the primary and secondary causes of creation.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, I can share since I'm 34, so I can look back on 33. Place of wisdom.
So much wisdom.
Am I? Well, no, I don't know. Yeah, 34.
We lost track.
So, yeah. So 33,
so young.
33 is Christ age. So Christ died at 33, and I experienced around this time. It's kind of like a death. With like the material body, material body is always dying. Material body is dead, and we're always dying. But then it's like I always felt like before I was in my prime, like I was like at the peak, like 25. Like Krishna's always appearing like a 25-year-old.
16.
25, 16, yeah.
16 to 25.
Youth.
Yeah,
Young adult.
Like 16 to 25, that's kind of like the prime. Even 28, 30. So then, so 33 is kind of like it's a death of like, well, I could probably like really get back. This was just materially speaking. I could probably get back and exercise and diet and like I could get back into close to that prime, but really never it's going to be the same, So it's like it's dead, and we experienced that death, and was actually heard this thing of this mother and she was sharing about the pain of being a mother, maybe just a parent in general, and like seeing your child have all these deaths, and like that 2-year-old, I'll never see it is dead, and you don't, and the pain of the mother is like you don't realize it until it's gone, until it's too late, and you look back and say, oh God, his child's dead now. It's this new child, and so like we're always having these deaths constantly, and I was looking at like so I'm walking around, busy in my life. I'm rushing around, like walking fast past like these old people. They're like broken and kind of like barely getting to where they're going, and so I kind of feel like sometimes I feel inconsiderate, like I'm kind of just blowing past them, and I feel like but at one time they were doing that. They were going fast and doing their thing. That person's dead now. That body's dead now. And kind of seeing like, yeah, there's already a death. They're already dead in a way. Those abilities are dead. They're not coming back. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about death. So it's just, death is always there, and it's always, we're always dying. There's so many deaths, and there's different points, and I think 33 is it's a good death. It's a good death to acknowledge. And then there's the life that you're speaking about, like the 5 years of life. The 5 years of being alive in Krishna consciousness. And that's like, appreciate that perspective that you also, 33 years of death.
5 years not in Krishna consciousness, but around Krishna consciousness.
In the vicinity. Well, actually living, so 33 years of death, but you have 5 years of living. And that's something to celebrate. It's eternally your benefit. So just want to share that.
I appreciate the point you made with like the children, like when the mother has the children,
Right.
and then like where is the baby?
Yeah.
Like, and I know so many mothers who have like 8-year-old and they are like so like missing the baby form of the child. So yeah, it makes sense. It's like my puppy. I got a puppy, and it lasted only like a few weeks, and then I have a dog. I don't really want to have a dog. But my puppy is completely gone. Sure.
I've never heard that, but it's very moving. The 33, what's it called? The Christ year or something?
I cannot like fully translate it, but like
Something like that.
Christ age, I've heard that also.
Yeah, first time I've heard that. Very interesting, because that was his lifespan in this avatar.
Then he went to Kashmir.
And what?
It's a Jewish joke.
No, I watched this Indian documentary. Anyway, it's not related at all. Because like Prabhupada actually was reading the Aquarian Gospel, and I think he did like sort of connected to that idea that Christ after 33 he went on the Silk Road to Kashmir, and there is a shrine there, and from the point of view of the documentary, actually he went to pick up the lost tribes of Israel, because all the 12 tribes of Israel, they scattered around the Silk Road. It's like an interesting part, because after the crucifixion, his actual like preaching started. Like that's what the documentary entitles. Like, he even like got married and had kids. Like that's like really wild part of that. But anyways. It's gonna sidetrack from the 33 number now. But.
I didn't know that 33 thing, but I remember thinking like, I always wanted to be 33. I thought at 33 I'll be a bona fide adult. and 33 was a pivotal year, but I don't remember knowing why I thought that. But I remember being 23, 27. I just still felt like a child. I just wanted to get to the other side. And so I played a lot and did a lot of crazy things. And then I remember at 33, and I had no idea about this relationship to Jesus. So I remember thinking, I have to settle down now. Like I have to stop doing that, and I have to finally be an adult. And last year I started I came to Gainesville and I was going to put down some roots and like have a home and have friends and be more grounded. And I started my business like all at 33. Not knowing why, it just felt like the time that was supposed to happen. Like, you know, to me, there was no spirituality involved in my decision making consciously. Funny that you're saying that. It's like, I just remember my whole life going, when I get to 33, I can get serious about life. That my meaning of getting serious was to sit down and ground and get a real job.
It's like fascinating for you to make the connection that maybe even subconsciously something that you was like programmed for that.
Yeah, I always used to wonder why I was 33. But I guess I had some DNA or story or something about 33. I wish it had been as pivotal as what I'm going through now, but at the time it seemed like because I had a whole different context. So I didn't get to be with this association at 33, and I got to be associated at 50 something, whatever, 56, 57, which I had a lot of resentment about for a long time. Like how all those years wasted, and I was mad, but now I accept it. It's my time.
I was wondering, what is your opinions about like the time that's spent for us until we come to Krishna consciousness? Like, why is that? Like, why? Like, it takes us 5, 10. Like some practitioners of Krishna consciousness born into devotee families. Some take 10 years, 20 years. Is it like related to like sinful activities or just personal choice or just costless mercy?
I think all mentioned above. Like, so like I know that like when I like was like young adult, I had like so many material goals, and I like got them one after another, and then I got to the point like, so now what? Because it's just like I wasn't like so inspired about like achieving another goal, but then like without it my life was quite empty. And then I came to Sattvatov like a few months later. So that's one for sure, like having material desires. And there will be probably some karma also. And like also like Krishna perfectly arranges the time for us that we are ready to take. Because also like, okay, so in my life there were like so many other occasions that like someone preached to me and I didn't take. So I think he's always somewhere there if we want to see him.
Yeah, materially exhausted, right? I think when Kunti production, no.
Tama Kinchana Gochara. Patience, a shelter for the materially exhausted. Yeah, I resonate with all of the above. That at some point we become receptive enough, and Krishna and Prabhupada and the acharyas, that they're always there. And it's just like how receptive are we? In my case, I took Prashad for 3 years. We had a little bit of problem, but it really was like, took Prashad and began associating on East Hamilton Avenue on Sundays, Tuesdays, Fridays, whenever they served Prashad. Began read a few signs of self-realization. And then my heart was more and more open. And before I put on my backpack and traveled around Europe on a Eurail pass, Stamba gave me my first drop of beads. And so it's like Prashad means mercy. So it comes in different forms. And there's mercy, there's never force. And, we have some some spark of sincerity begins to awaken. Like that. We all have our coming to Krishna stories.
They are really great. They are coming to
Fun.
Krishna's
Fun
stories.
stories. And then, then because, okay, well, here we are. So what are we doing with the opportunity? Now that we have as your theme there, and then whatever the past was, we look at, okay, yukta vairagya. What can I take from my experiences of the past, and what's to leave behind, and what can I take from my experience, my training, to utilize in Krishna consciousness, because ultimately it's all the energy of Krishna anyway. Hare Krishna.
I can think for myself, I think I can see both things. I could look back and say, oh, it makes no sense. It's just caused us mercy. I just kind of stumbled into it. Like, how did I get here? Like, it was just, not random chance, but just the cause of mercy. Just like, well, it doesn't make any sense. It's just, I just got struck on the head, And then also could look back and think, like, oh, well, I see this step to this step, and I must have had some pious activity, because look how my life, I could have been dead or in jail a long time ago, or whatever, things could have happened so much differently. So I had some good fortune, so there must be some reason for that good fortune. I must have done something right. So I can kind of see both ways, like, oh, it's just my, must have done some pious activity, so I get some good results, some good fortune, and then, the causeless mercy. So I think it all kind of works together, I guess.
So how I like to look at it is like when I look at others, not that I do it all the time, but how I like to look at it is like when I look at others, I'm like, wow, like these people, like they had to be so pious in their past life.
Uh-huh.
And then when I look at myself, what works for me better is like, yeah, I guess I just like stumbled.
The causeless mercy.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
And
the humble approach.
and when I look at my life, like this lifetime, I don't know what I was doing that lifetime. But then when I look at my life this lifetime, then like nothing else than the causeless mercy really works in that picture.
Right.
There's my life. So
Right. Theoretically, I can look back and say, well, in previous life, I must have done something. But just looking at this life, it's always seemed like positive.
for me, for sure.
I had some questions just about the purport. We could just to clarify. I just lost it. About so Garbhadaksha Vishnu is I lost it. So he's lying on the bit of Lord Sesha, the expansion of Balaram, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then but the Mahavishnu is Karnadaksha Vishnu, and
Who is also an expansion of
Mahavishnu, expansion of Balaram, like same Karshna too. But is Mahavishnu also lying on the Shesha? Is it Shesha or?
Sounds like not in this report. But I don't know.
And that's one question I had. And another question is that I heard also, is it emanating from the pores along with his breathing, or is it just the breathing? Is it those are the same thing?
It's sweating and breathing.
Yeah. Those are my two questions. I submit them for exploration, clarification.
There's this picture with the fire.
It's very small that we see here. Mahavishnu and then one universe who is killed Vakasha Vishnu.
Right, so he's not.
It's not on Shesha.
He's not.
It's just floating.
He's just
Almost
floating in
floating
the.
in ether.
The Mahatattva.
Yeah.
And then
It should be a Jhana, causal ocean.
the causal ocean,
It's written in the causal ocean.
Karana Jala. It says lies down within the water of the Mahatattva, and the water is called the causal ocean. So it's Mahatattva has water, but the Mahatattva is not the water. Right? Anybody can jump in.
Mahatattva is as an aggregate of all. That's what we read
Yeah.
in the previous verses. That if you read the previous verses, he had put things in perspective.
And then it says breathing, but it's also emanating from the pores, right? That's equivalent.
Yeah, I've heard it both ways, from the breathing and from the pores. So I've heard it both ways.
The pores is equivalent. Like, so if he's breathing in, then the universe are coming in through the pores. And he's
At the
breathing
time
out.
of annihilation. That's the way
Yeah, me too.
that it's not just through the mouth, it's through
So,
the pores of the entire.
it's like this breathing is maybe different than ours. We can imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
One body can perform the function of anything. This whole body is breathing like that.
Yeah, we are also breathing through the pores.
We are also,
Yeah.
and we are also generating water from the pores. Probably like that.
Perspiration.
Speak about
Yeah.
that. That's, in the same way that Mahavishnu, like water coming out. We also have water coming out of our pores.
And we
But we
are
don't create an ocean from it. But we can create a bottle. Some of us can create a bottle.
Well, you see, so like Garbhodakshi Vishnu is there, so Krishna, Balaram, Radharani like that, because it's Lakshmi, Vishnu, Shesha, but then like Mahavishnu, it just seems like he's by himself. Where's his associates?
He seems to be by himself, Mahavishnu. That's also my understanding, that he's by himself.
he's sleeping.
So he doesn't need anyone.
You mean, because because Lakshmi is only with the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu? Is that the idea?
In the description and in the picture.
Okay. This is actually described somewhat in Brahma Samhita.
Mhm.
Brahma Samhita, because there is the Mahalakshmi, the feminine source, and so that it's described that the Mahavishnu impregnates material nature with his glance. So there's definitely a relationship there. And it's described that Sambhu, Sadashiva, is sort of like the agency.
The phallus.
Yeah, it's kind of like the agency of that happening. So these are wonderful questions. This is a sort of thing where it's a lot of fun to do like a search of Prabhupada's books. Like I used to do searches. Before computer days, I would sit and I would index the whole Bhagavatam, and it's very good. But now, like, you could go into the Prabhupada folio, and just the downloadable hard drive Prabhupada folio database. I find that just much better than anything online. And like type in Mahavishnu pores, Mahavishnu breathing, creation, and then you can just go through not just the books, but the lectures, the conversations, the letters. There's many letters where Prabhupada's disciples, they ask these questions and he answers them in the letters. And so you can do a search like that. So Mahavishnu impregnates Mahalakshmi, impregnates the material energy.
Which is Mahatattva? Because it's a material energy at that stage.
Well, she's the source of Mahatattva.
Yeah.
So she's a personality. It's actually, like yesterday we read Brahma Samhita. There are some things in Brahma Samhita that aren't anywhere else. And we read a little bit yesterday. But if you go through 62 verses and purports, And it's described how that happens. It's a great question because we hear a lot about Garbhodaksha Vishnu and Lakshmi massaging him and like that. But also with the Karanadaksha Vishnu, there's this whole relationship, and through Shiva, the masculine symbol represents sort of like the semen of the Mahavishnu. But so there's a relationship there. And Brahma Samhita describes it in ways that aren't described elsewhere. Brahma Samhita.
Because it was a silent
We do inhale and exhale through our pores. So I'm imagining that the universe is also like enter the pores, like in. Why not? But yes. Srimad Bhagavatam.
Jai. Krishna.
Happy birthday, Hladini. Happy birthday, Hladini. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Rukmini writes, thanks for your class, Hladini. I perceived the loss of child was actually a blessing for your life. It wasn't meant for us. Yes, so good. Rukmini wrote something.
Thank you.
Right. Happy birthday.
May you never take births again. May you never take